Hello, my name is Colleen O'Connor. Welcome to Healing Visionaries Online Summit. Today we have Ilona Selke, best-selling author of Dream Big, The Universe is Listening, and owner-creator of the Shambhala Retreat Center in North Coast, Bali. Welcome, Ilona.
Hi, Caitlin. Thank you so much for having me. And you and I are speaking from two parts of the world. You're right now on the full moon in Istanbul on the Aegean Sea, and I'm here on the Northwest Pacific on an island, and we're both on water, and we both had the full moon and the eclipse. So I feel this is a very auspicious time that we are working together here right now. And what I am really excited about is to talk with you about utilizing the visionary shamanic mind to evolve, to transform, and to create miracles, which I wrote about in all of my books, but the latest one, Dream Big, The Universe is Listening. So thank you for having me. Thank you.
Sounds fantastic. Yes. So tell us more about your book and what you mean by the holographic universe.
Okay. All right. So the holographic universe, and it's just a model, but in and of itself, a hologram represents that which has been said in the past, as above, so below, as within the small, so within the large. And the ability to make a change within the small, within myself, will have the effect in the outside world. And I came across this teaching once when I attended a big conference, the Psychotronic conference, listening to Dr. Vernon Wolf, a 4-time PhD. He talked about the holographic universe, dipping your cup into this quantum foam, and he threw out quantum theory and the foam and the parallel dimensions and the subconscious mind and how we all tie together because our consciousness is connected to the source code of the entire universe. And so when we dive deep, which in the olden days only the shamans did, but now we've evolved enough to where all of us can learn this. We can access the parts within us. And what I love about it is even the negative parts, and access them, feel them, communicate with them, and then unfold them into their potential. Because Vernon always said, the potential is enfolded in everything. So everything is part of the evolutionary capacity. It has the potential to contract or expand. And it's us accessing the expanded version from the contracted, which I write in my book, Dream Big. I write about my book, Wisdom of the Dolphins. Magical, really time, space, bending stories that other people have done since they've read my books and done my courses. Time, space, bending with our consciousness. So that's the holographic universe. That's the anchor. That's the metaphor we use to explain the fact that consciousness is tied in with matter, and that we are the center point, the anchor, from which, when we make the change, we see the ripple effect change the world around us.
That is so amazing. I love that part, the research that you've done with Dr. Vernon Wolf. And I took your Living from Vision course, so
yes,
I'm familiar with what you're talking about. But for our viewers that may not be familiar, your course is packed full of excellent research and science. What other kinds of things did Dr. Wolf talk about in part of your course, other than the holographic universe?
Well, I mean, what all of us need to do, right? All of us humans. And actually, the course was written by Dr. Rod Newton, and he was collaborating with Dr. Vern Wolf. And then I came into a teacher training with both of them, and that's how it collaborated. And I was given the international rights in 1990. So from then on, I ran with it. We even translated it into, it's been taught in China, Czechoslovakia, Spanish, English, French, German a lot, Switzerland, all the German-speaking countries. And what Vern added to the whole concept is his psychological, his quantum physics mind, as well as the religious mind. But Rod Newton, who's also a very stout meditator and meditates 3 hours every day, what he discovered is that where we all have a common thread is the desire to create a happy life. And happiness is for everybody something different, but most of us hang around on a scale from 1 to 10, like somewhere by 6.5. And he discovered that as people learn to master their life, create the job they want, create the income they want, have the partner of their choice, be in the health that they want to be, live in the place they want, that's when we feel like we're making progress. Like when and behind that is mastering the code of creation, mastering how we need to organize our subconscious and our superconscious in alignment so that we make an impact on what appears to be solid reality, what really is the canvas of consciousness of God manifest. And on this canvas, we get to see where we are. And when we make those changes internally, we see them reflected externally. For some people, results come quickly. And the ones who have quicker results are the ones who think, well, of course, I deserve it. If people feel undeserving, the first thing to do is to talk to the parts of them that are feeling non-confident, undeserving. All of us have had those imprints in past lives or beliefs of, I need to only take up this much space and then I'm good. We need to learn that really the divine light wishes to flow through us without us having an ego, but in full glory.
I love that. That's so beautiful. I'm sure many, many viewers find that helpful. And we fluctuate through that throughout our lives. Sometimes we feel small, even though we're not. We struggle to get through that. But you're saying actually that slows down the ability to make manifest and live from our vision.
Yeah, there are a couple researches that have been done. I love the book, The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment. He did it on an intuitive level, which later on science found out. He said we can, and we all have heard, right? Love expands, fear contracts. When we are in doubt, we contract. Well, not only we in our feeling body, but our DNA coil. Our DNA is much like a coil. It expands with love and trust and self-confidence. It contracts with fear, doubts, and anxieties or insecurities. But what do we do when we are? And like you said, it happens throughout our life, but I find it happens throughout the day. Like some days I'm great, some days I'm going, well, is it really enough? And what Dr. Vern Wolf developed, he worked with schizophrenics. He worked with, Dr. Bobby Barnes, a student of his, wrote her PhD thesis on this technique that's included in the course, Living from Vision, where people learn to manifest and create and access the higher dimensional mind and deal with the subconscious. This technique of his was added. We called it learning from problems. So what you do, and let's just do a little quick exercise right here so we can learn something while we listen, okay? You
Yes,
want to do that?
fantastic.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right,
Yes.
all right, yes. Let's close our eyes for a moment. Yeah, please understand this is like the absolute shortcut version, but you can do it at home anytime. It's 3 words you have to remember. I'm going to teach you a technique of shifting a field within you. It's called stop, look, choose. Stop, look, choose. Let's do it. Let's close our eyes and make yourself comfortable, just breathing, stretching, just noticing where you are and that you are a living, breathing, conscious being. This morning, I was marveling at the gift that we are given consciousness to perceive and act. What a marvel. So I'd like you to think of a situation. It could have been in the last 24 hours, in the last few days. It doesn't have to be huge or humongous, anything that didn't go as well as you wanted it to go. Where you still feel like, that's still kind of stuck there. What didn't go so well? concern, a worry that's remaining. You've got something? Okay. So as you think about that feeling or that situation, tune a little bit more into how you feel as you think about it. And we're taking time out right now. We're causing this like stop. The movie is running, but we're like stopping, going, how am I feeling about this? What I just saw. And it may be a funny feeling in the tummy, a constriction in the throat, a butterfly, a heart thing, whatever feeling it is. And we're looking to feel it within our body because our body does not lie. It tells us, hey, there's something here. So what we're doing now is we've stopped and now we're looking at the situation, at the feeling. Just notice, where is it that you mostly feel it in your body? And just pick the one where it's the most noticeable. And as you do, as you tune into that feeling, you might even notice, if you were to give it a color, what color would it have? Would it have a shape, or you could even make one up? And as you're looking at this energy form and the image and color and shape that you've given it, ask it what it really would like to have, be, or do. If it could have what it really wanted, if it could already have what it really wanted, what would that be? And I like to encourage you to just take off any limitations of concerns, buts, whats, ifs, and whens, and just let yourself have the fulfillment for a moment. Just go for it. What would it be? Let it be the impossible. It doesn't matter. Just think and allow yourself to imagine what that would be like. And as you allow yourself to feel what you really would like to experience, notice where you feel that feeling. And just notice that that feeling has a fulfillment feeling in it, and maybe a color. Maybe it has a symbol that could represent this fulfilled feeling. And it could be an amorphous feeling, picture, image, but now just go back in your mind and thank the old one, the old energy that didn't go as well as you wanted it to go. That kind of a little bit yucky feeling possibly, or that uncomfortable feeling, and thank it. Thank it for wanting something so beautiful. And if you make connection with that energy and give it thanks, you probably notice a wave of joy back from it, or some kind of response. And ask it. Ask this old energy now if it's willing to become that feeling, energy, vibrancy of its fulfilled wish, that which it really wanted. And when it is willing, and most likely it will be saying, yes, of course, that's what I always wanted, go ahead. And now that you've thanked the old energy, let the two meet and let the new energy, the fulfilled energy, absorb and take within it the energy of what it was like when it wasn't getting what it wanted, the old energy. Let it absorb completely into the new energy until all that's left is the new energy. Let every last little bit from that old energy be absorbed, transformed, and taken into its dream come true, into its own fulfillment. After all, this is what it always wanted. And let the energy ripple out all the way in a spherical way around you into the past, present, and future. Let it touch other parts of your life and transform them. Make them brilliant. And then thank that new energy. And we take it through a number more steps, like making a relationship, taking it to a round table to where it becomes your inner advisor. You're in your place of peace. But for now, we just thank it and allow it to work with us in our subconscious mind 24/7, day and night, whether we are aware of it or not. Thank it, appreciate it, and let go. It will now automatically work within your subconscious, and you can take a deep breath when you are willing to express this energy in your daily life. Stretch. Stretch your arms, whatever you want. Yes.
Wow.
So how is that feeling now to you?
Oh, that's great. I loved how the feeling completely shifted when we moved it out to talk with it, and another feeling came in to replace it. It was a completely different part of the body.
Yeah.
Mine was in the back,
Yeah.
which isn't a usual place for me, like
Okay.
middle back, for this new problem.
Right.
And then the positive side shifted way high up. You know, it's somewhere
In another sphere, and that typically is what it is. It uplifts from the small space to a larger space. That's when we become, our small self moves into its larger self, but not until we have addressed the parts that are going, listen to me, please, something is stuck here, and
right.
it is listening to that. It is our own shamanic journey that we can practice on a daily basis. And you will see, I've seen thousands of people create miraculous, sometimes mind-bending reality shifts that they've experienced simply by aligning to this new energy. And that's what we practice. That's what everybody can learn. We get better at it over time. So it is really, and you do the exercises still, you just told me, I'm so jazzed. I do too.
And the let go part, that is key, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
That's
can't
when
keep thinking about it all day.
Right. And that's when we let the higher energies of the divine take over and co-create with us. It's like we offer the blueprint and divine spirit comes in and takes and gives it wings.
Yes.
So really, to answer your question, the holographic universe and shamanic work and shifting visionarily your reality is an internal job. And when we create that blueprint of time space, we find that we can start talking to the weather, to the clouds. I have people saying, oh yeah, since I read your book, I did communicate with the weather and with the clouds. I did this. all these amazing stories I get from around the world, when people hear it is manageable for every single one of us, we all are destined to learn it. We are meant to become masters of co-creating reality through our consciousness. Not to manipulate matter, but to open up to another reality that is so much more fulfilling. Once we start becoming that greater self and live in that frequency, we start communicating with things at a distance, time, space. We have access to the future memory and to the past, and we can become a dancer of the Savuya, as Gary Zukav, I believe, called it in the 80s in this book. Yeah.
And in your work, you also put co-creating into the automatic self. The subconscious has to be reprogrammed, and that's one of the ways to.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you and I were talking, you do the amazing artwork with people where you have shamanic artwork that they create sacred art. You even do it online, right? You work with people.
Right. And your way of wrapping together not only what you strongly desire, but having that image with it.
Yes, right. And
so
it
I
is.
actually painted mine.
Oh, really? Do you have
Yes.
it somewhere? Do you have it? Oh.
I'm in my summer place. It's in my house in Istanbul. But,
awesome. Hey, that's a nice life. I live in my winter abode, my summer abode. That's what that's what my husband and I do. I have to travel with
this
this.
Works.
Yes.
Yeah, this works.
It works if we apply it. And what I find is that no matter how well we've gotten ourselves established, we make, with a repeat of the same course, we make another spiral up over and over. It's like a lifetime journey of ascending.
I love that you actually look like a hologram. with the background, you come in and out. It's just perfect for what you're saying.
That's right. It's Zoom's virtual background. Yes.
I just want to point out also something that came up in the guided visualization that we just went through. You mentioned the advisor, the spirit advisor, and for me that was a really important key part of doing that work, to check in and communicate every day with that advisor and advisory board.
And you know, different religions, different spiritual paths all have their saints and their deities. In the Buddhist tantric path, they have in the Chinese, they have the Kuan Yin, you know, and like in Catholic religion, they have Saint Antonius, I believe, to find lost articles. So all the shamanic worlds, you know, we have totem animals and this and that, and people of all times have communicated with something at a higher dimension. But our mind needs to have a little bit of an access, a handle to get there. So we create these advisory boards, and we use more modern technology, more modern terminology, and we choose the advisors we want on our round table. And we create them partially through subconscious journeys that we just did. You can have that energy sit and communicate with all the others and become a new mastermind in your subconscious. But you can also specifically call forth and encounter, which we do in the course, your inner particular guide. I have one. Actually, I'm looking at the picture of my inner guide right behind you.
Oh.
Yeah, I have had it since I was 20, and he appeared in my dream. And then later I found a physical picture that matched it. So that's what I put.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we do have inner beings that teach us and guide us. And when we open our door and communicate with those guides, when we are willing to ask, so then we're given. When we're willing to ask for help, we can then get answers. We will get help if we ask, but that we have to do. We have to ask. So
right. And hearing it is another aspect. Some people struggle at first, but you have to realize that it comes in many forms, doesn't it? It's not going to be clear sentences or movies in your mind.
Right. And you know, we all even in physical life, some of us are better at seeing things. We see details, we're artistic. Some people, they're just kinesthetic. The Venusian types, they need velvet around them and a nice cup of tea. Then, there are people who hear thoughts, like directions. And some people have a mixture, but I have had people come, I mean, I've taught 30 years of tons and tons of seminars. There is a good mix, I would say, between visuals and kinesthetics. The people who are kinesthetics, they need to feel things. They don't see as well, but when they come through a weekend seminar with me, at the end, they all see. So they usually need longer time until they're deep enough in their subconscious, until the images come out. They just need longer to get that still. People who are like Geminis or Aquarian types, they see and think, like Mercury is so vivid in their head, they bubble. But like you said, all these elements, hearing, feeling, seeing, they are different aspects, and we develop different preferences, but we can use any which one. We don't really need to see. We can know, we can feel, we can hear, whichever one we prefer.
Right, right. And in your book, you
all your questions.
I have so much I want to talk with you about. 40 minutes doesn't even cover it, but yeah. I'm just asking some of the more related questions I think that
people have, yeah.
Yeah. But there's a scenario that you talk about that's absolutely fascinating between you and your husband in the book. Early on in your life, able to communicate and have this gorgeous love relationship and friendship. And it was, you were meeting above, and there's like a triangle that happens.
Yes. And honestly, I'm teaching in November, I'm teaching a soul awareness seminar for soul mated type of relationships. And it is in Bali, we have the retreat center there. First of all, we all need to know where our own different centers are and be able to ascend. Oh, that's good. It disappears.
It does. It's very cool.
Into higher dimensions. Yeah. So the ability to focus your attention into your diamond of your soul, we need to learn that first. But then when we do, and we have two diamonds, they don't have a relationship down here, although we do. Of course, we have this one, but this is not where we stabilize. We stabilize in a single point of merging, of meeting the two soul stars into singularity. My husband and I do it every single day, and we do it multiple times a day. We go until we feel that presence of ours, and then fine tune it until it goes click, and one unit opens up. Enlightened beings that I know, that I meet with, who I sit with in silence, and we love to engage with eye gazing. I just had one visit here in Seattle on Sunday. The night before, I said, "Dear God, I need to have instantaneous manifestation of an enlightened being, please. I want one now. Besides Don and my husband, I want one, and I want this, and I want to merge, and I want to commune there." So because I needed to get out of, I can only do it with this person. That's special one. I don't have this only. I can do it with almost anybody who is able to rise to the occasion, but we can all do that. We can have deep soul connections with almost anybody. Like our grandmother, if I take people through a journey where they meet angels or dolphins or beloveds, and some people have their grandmother show up, we can go into unity of consciousness. And that's what you call that triangle, the third element. Well, on Sunday, I said, I want one like that. And Sunday night, one of them texted that I've known to be an enlightened being. And he said, I was called on standby. He was a flight attendant. Flew to Seattle, said, I'm here. Do you want to visit? I live an hour and a half away. I said, of course. So we met. We eye gazed. And so what happens when you go into deep union of consciousness and you create this overlap of your own singular still self into the other? A third or another dimension opens, the one beyond that. The quantum hole opens, the wormhole through time space opens, and opens us into a sublime unified field that is the next level up of our next level of enlightenment. And from there, when we hold that, when we sustain that, it's an absence of self in one moment. Something happens throughout all the filaments of our being, and things align in our lives. Things can change. Our thoughts and our ability to focus becomes so much more powerful. And that's what I've found in manifesting. The more we train our ascension into the divine, the more our power, or the laser light, shines clearly through the hologram of our choice and manifests. Whether we know what hologram that is or whether we don't. Our subconscious ones create reality just as well. So yeah, so that's in a nutshell the plus element that co-creates with us and that we can sharpen, we can ascend to into singularity in a relationship.
Right, right. I've been working with that, and I love the
I
dolphin
feel you.
symbolism to spiral up that way. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the partnership, how fantastic, that can be.
Oh, I mean, that is the secret to long-lasting love. It's like the unity is the ground we walk on. Out of that comes the multiplicity, and it's beautiful. But it is fulfilled in the moment that the singularity and the multiplicity, I'm like part of the multiplicity of God, returning my gaze back to the singularity. Or when you and I meet and talk to each other, and I go to that space within myself,
Mm.
and you go to that place within yourself, and we co-resonate. A beautiful field of love, honor, and light opens up and engulfs both of us. And that is the magic of love and harmony. And so in relationships, if people practice that, which can be learned, they can start having love making out of body. They could feel that connection, whether the other one is far away or close by. Yeah.
Right, you talked about that too.
Right.
Before we're almost out of time, but before we close, I want to let everybody know what free gift you have to offer and the link that we will provide so
Okay.
they can work with you further.
Colleen, I think I'd like to do a special offer for your audience. I'm going to give you a free gift for starting meditation and starting daily envisioning and talking to your soul. And that's an app. It's a free app. You'll listen to a morning guided meditation, maybe 12 minutes long, 10 minutes long, and the other in the evening is 8 minutes long. So you start your day with focus and alignment, and you end your day in gratitude.
Wow.
And
Nice.
then how about I do this? I give your clients who click through your link there that we're going to provide
Sure.
30% off the Living from Vision course. That's about
Oh,
couple $100 off. It's normally $395 for a 5-week jam-packed full course with the app,
right.
different than the one that I give you for free. So
Yeah,
you
and
can
all the listeners, this class is really, really worth it.
yeah, it is. So I'll give them $100 off. And if they click on that link, then I'll give them that gift from here from our audience. And then it's going to be
Thank you.
on some page. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
Wow, that's
So I'll give you two
fantastic.
things. I'll give you two
Oh,
gifts.
thank you, Ilona.
Yeah, you're
It's
welcome.
so great having you on here. In
Thank you.
closing, any story or anything else that we missed that you would really want to add?
Well, sometimes some people ask, well, what does it really matter if you meditate or go into these God worlds? Nothing really moves, right? Well, let me tell you, people ask me, how do you create all the miracles? If you provide yourself worthy by working on your inner self and sharpening your inner light and laser light, becoming a laser light in this world, you will be rewarded beyond belief. It's basically training our consciousness to interact with a greater universe. And when we endeavor on that journey, which I'm sure all of the listeners already are on, but if we make that our daily practice, hourly practice, then we get to live the life that other people dream of. And you get to be the person. You can dream up your life, and bit by bit. And the other secret is consistency and sticking with it. It's a journey of a lifetime. And
Mhm.
you get to dream your life into technicolor, be helpful, be an agent of love and light on this planet.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And I just want to say a plug-in for both of your books too. They're really, really worth reading. The stories are just profound and incredible, and people will come to understand everything that you've mentioned here today too.
Awesome. Yeah, as a matter of fact, when they sign up for the Living from Vision course, they'll get the Wisdom of the Dolphin book as a PDF. Of course, you can get it on Amazon, Wisdom of the Dolphins. It is powerful to read the stories first so you can get inspired and know what's possible. And then when
Right.
you set out to do the course, then you go like, of course. Now let's get going. Let's create beauty, life, and love for this and other people on this planet.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you.
Ilona. It's great
Thank
to
you,
talk
Colleen.
with you.
Thanks for all the amazing work you do, spreading this amount of knowledge and having so many interviews, so many amazing people on your show to give free information and inspiration to people so they continue being on the journey of evolution. Thank you for